Obi-Wan plays.
Yes, right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.
What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? We are live on a Sunday night. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let's do the top 5 in the chat. Where you at? Number 1 is, oh wait, my thing is blocking the first person. I think it's Kibo. Was it Kibo? Is it Kibo? I think, no, it's not Kibo. It is Bowsette. Number 1 was Bowsette. Number 2 is keeping my pinned message is blocking the top chat. So number 1, Bowsette. Number 2, Kibo, We Happy Ducks, Kiki, and Raul. What's up, Buster Justin? You still in the Naughty Gang. You missed the top 5, but you still get an honorable mention. All right, what's up, Gods? What's up, Gods? What's up, everybody in the chat? We are live. In the background, we got the Nintendo Direct playing. The last Nintendo Direct was fire. I give it a 9 out of 10. Oh, we got some big hitters. Mario RPG, Mario Wonder. Even that Princess Peach game looks dope. We have some bangers coming for the Switch. We are about 4 days away from Pikmin 4 dropping. Can't wait. I have 4 days. I'm trying to beat Paper Mario Origami King before that Pikmin 4 drops. I think it's going to happen. But before we get started, we are at 14 likes. I need 6 people to give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get it to 20 likes, and then we will get this thing going. DK Kong Island say, nah, it was 7 out of 10. And that's fair. Everybody has their own right to their own. But those haymakers that they were dropping, I just bumped it up every time they were dropping them. I was like, whoa, that's big. All right, tonight, Sunday, I found this article to be interesting, so I wanted to share it with you all. IGN talks about the Nintendo Switch 2, and as I share the article, I'm going to be stopping to share my thoughts. A lot of stuff to talk about in one epic stream, but Switch 2, most anticipated console this generation. It's going to be dope. It's going to be crazy. Let's get to it. They start off by saying the Nintendo Switch, the current console, is the little Nintendo that could. And I have to tell you, the current Switch surpassed every expectation. Everybody, I was there at the end of the Wii U generation, all throughout the Wii U generation. I was riding. I was like, man, the Wii U is gonna be fire. I was like, I can't wait. The Wii U was dope for me. I still liked it. We got Splatoon. We got Mario 3D World. There was some dope Super Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart 8. All of these games that a lot of y'all are playing for the first time on the Switch were Wii U originals, and I was enjoying it. So I say all that to say, when the Wii U dropped, and when it was starting to struggle, everybody was saying Nintendo needs to go third party. Nintendo needs to give up. I was like, no, Nintendo, y'all can't do that, because y'all IPs are too iconic, and the Switch ended up being a banger. So they start off by saying Nintendo Switch is the little Nintendo console that could. And it's going to be really hard to capture the lightning in a bottle that is Nintendo's hybrid console. Oh, I have to disagree with that a little. They're pretty much saying it's going to be difficult for Nintendo to repeat the success of the Switch. Case in point, PlayStation 1, crazy success. What did Sony do? They didn't stray too far away from what worked for the PlayStation 1. Make it third-party friendly. I just added 2 on it. We got the PlayStation 2. The DVD player inside did help because it made DVD player a sell hot item to get with the PlayStation 2. But that's all they did. PlayStation 3 was the console generation for PlayStation that they strayed away the most as far as third-party friendly, price point friendly. They strayed away the most with the PlayStation 3, and it cost them that generation. I say there's a point to this, but Sony, every generation, they pretty much rinsed and repeated, and they've caught lightning in a bottle every time. PlayStation consoles are wildly successful every single generation. Them saying that it's going to be hard for Nintendo to capture lightning in a bottle and repeat with the Switch 2, if Nintendo does what they did with the OGs, with the Switch that we have right now, it'll be successful. As long as they keep this hybrid format, because in the past, Nintendo has really been competing with themselves. When a parent walks in the store, oh, I could just get this handheld for my kid, or do I need to get this Nintendo home console? They both have Mario. They both have Zelda. And so they are in many reasons competing with themselves. But having all of the Nintendo console games on one system, it's going to sell. And Nintendo doesn't have to just make sure that they don't stray too far away with what they're doing with the current Switch. The thing with Nintendo is Nintendo tends to shoot themselves in the foot. I say this all the time. Every generation, they do something completely different from what they did the previous generation. From the NES to the Super Nintendo, completely different systems. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, completely different. I mean, and to Nintendo's credit, I like when they innovate. I like when they take those chances because they bring so much to gaming. The Super Nintendo, GOAT console. Nintendo 64, probably the most important video game system ever. And so Nintendo, they do something completely different every generation to their detriment and to their benefit. But I do think they could capture lightning in the bottle. Raul Valencia with the $10 super chat. And this is what he says. I bet a 3D Donkey Kong game will be revealed in the Switch 2 Direct where they reveal the new console first. I need a couple of dudes to type Raul in the chat. Appreciate the $10 super chat, Raul. But a 3D Donkey Kong game is what I really want. This is what they should do. The same thing they're doing with Mario. There it is, the $10 super chat. Appreciate it, Raul. They had 3D Super Mario Odyssey, and then now we're getting Mario Wonder on the same platform. We had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze 2D platformer. If anybody watching this stream and you don't have a game to play and you've never played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, go and get it now. You'll thank me later. One of the greatest 2D platforming games ever. The level design, the creativity, the boss battles. Now, some of those boss battles are super long. Hey, I got to show Raul some respect. He dropped the super chat, so I'm going to respond to his question. I respond to everyone's question, but some of those boss battles in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, they're super long. And if you die, you have to start all the way over again. That's the only thing about that. They need to have save points during the boss battles. But other than that, the game is dope. But there have been rumors. Oh, by the way, this Saturday morning's cartoon, first person game show at Nintendo Direct, was so amazing. It looks so cool. But there have been rumors about a 3D Donkey Kong game in the works. Let's make that happen. But here's the thing. It's the same studio, Retro Studio, that makes Metroid Prime 4. So if they had to prioritize one, I want their A-team. I want their A-team on a 3D Donkey Kong game. We don't need a lower tier Donkey Kong game. That's like a Nintendo first party AAA franchise. So we need their A-team on a 3D Donkey Kong game. But here's the dilemma. We also want their A-team to work on Metroid Prime 4. So we want Metroid Prime 4 to come out first, And who knows? I don't know their studio structure, so they could have two top tier teams working on both. There has been rumors that a 3D Donkey Kong game is in the works, so I'll take it. All right, they continue. I have some hopes of my own, some realistic and some completely ridiculous. I'm going to focus on the realistic expectations I have and keep the ridiculous ones to my personal Nintendo fanfic. I know what I want and what I don't want from the Switch 2 or Super Switch or Switch U or whatever Nintendo decides to call it. That's been another huge debate point. What is Nintendo going to call this console? A couple names he mentioned that they don't need to do. Super Switch, don't do that. It's going to be too confusing. Mom's going to be like, my kid already has a Switch. Switch U, he had to be trolling with that name. Switch 2, I keep saying this. The names that make the most sense for me, either Switch 2 or Switch 4K. If you notice what Nintendo's been doing with the Switch naming, if they do keep the Switch moniker, which I think they should, the Switch is popular, so I think they should ride that wave. They had the Switch, then the Switch Lite. What was the Switch Lite? Just a smaller Switch. Made sense. Switch Lite. Then they had a Switch OLED. Made sense. It was easy, obvious. This has an OLED screen. My current Switch doesn't. It's called a Switch OLED. So if they call it Switch 4K, that would also be obvious, and it would give gamers incentive to upgrade, because more and more people, the 4K TV market, a lot of adoption in homes. It'll make sense. Oh, I have a 4K TV. Some of these Switch games look a little grainy, a little blurry. Let me get a 4K Switch. It makes sense. So just my opinion. So Switch 2 or Switch 4K makes sense. All right. The Switch is easily my most played console, and the follow-up will almost certainly do the same. But here's what I both want and expect from Nintendo's next console. But first, a little history. And I have to say this. Right now, the Switch is the main console I'm playing. PlayStation 5 is dope. Love my PlayStation 5. My kids, it's a Fortnite machine for them right now. But the Switch, it just has so many unique games that you can't play anywhere else. A lot of the games on the PlayStation are also on the Xbox. A lot of crossover. And the PlayStation does hit you with exclusives twice a year, maybe big exclusives. But Nintendo, almost every other month, they have just games that you can't play anywhere else. Super Mario RPG. The game is going to be so amazing. I can't wait. All right. He says a little history. What a little history? What we need history for? Let me see what he's talking about. All right, this might be good. Over 6 years ago, everyone, even die-hard apologists like me, agreed the Wii U failed to live up to expectations. Commercially, yes. As a Nintendo fan, I still say no. I still love my Wii U. Pikmin 3, Madden. They made Madden on the Switch 1 year, bro. And I played it every year. Madden 13, that's where I got my name from. Fun fact, if you're just subscribed to my channel, I was the number ranked Madden player in the world on the Wii U. That's where I got my name, OB1. I'm number one. But Madden on the Wii U, I played it all the time. That's why I'm so excited for Wild Card Football. In October, we're finally getting a football game we could play online against other people on the Switch. We do have Tecmo Bowl on the NES Online, and that's still fire. Tecmo Bowl is dope, but I mean like a 3D football game. Kaleem, what's up, Kaleem? It's always good to see Kaleem in the chat. Did you see Xbox Live is being transitioned into a new tier of Game Pass called Game Pass Core? Wait, time out, Kaleem. Are they raising the prices again on Game Pass? Type in the chat the tiers. What are the price tiers, Kaleem? I'm not a real big fan of Game Pass. I'm not going to bash Xbox this stream. I promise y'all. But Phil Spencer, and I did see it right when he tweeted it. It was like 3 minutes after he tweeted it. Well, Phil Spencer confirmed PlayStation did sign a 10-year binding agreement with Xbox to have Call of Duty for the next 10 years. So it looks like it's the same agreement Nintendo has agreed to. I'm just hyped that on the Switch 2, Call of Duty is pretty much confirmed. So all of the sponsors, all of my sponsors, we used to have Call of Duty nights where we used to play Call of Duty. but there's no Call of Duty on the Switch. So Call of Duty dropping on the Switch is going to be fire. All right. They're saying Wii U failed to live up to expectations. Commercially, yes. As a gamer, I liked it. Sales were abysmal. Facts. 13 million, bro. The Switch did pass that in 1 year. Michael Parker. Michael is the homie. The 1 year I went to E3, I met Michael. He had on that gold Zelda book bag. Every time I see him, I tell the story. And we chopped it up. It was a good time. Shout out to Michael with the $5 super chat. Somebody in the chat type Michael for showing your boy some love. Appreciate it, Michael. All right. Oh, no, he actually agrees with me in this article. He says sales were abysmal. The games were great. Oh, he has my attention. He agrees that the Wii U games were great. We're at 32 likes. I need 8 people to give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get it to 40 likes right now. Game Pass Core, $9. Game Pass is $10.99. And Game Pass Ultimate, $16.99. What's the difference, bro? What's the difference between Game Pass Core and Game Pass? One is $9.99 and one is $10.99. $1 difference? Why is there $1 difference? That makes no sense. Xbox be like, what goes on in their boardroom, bro? They be like, you know what? Let's just raise the price between the tier by $1. You might as well just get the $10 if it's like a big difference. Weird. All right. The games were great, as clearly be seen by the fact that 95% of them were ported to the Switch. Like I told y'all, a lot of the games that y'all are playing on the Switch were on the Wii U. Smash Ultimate, the best Smash game, was on the Wii U. Mario Kart 8, the best Mario Kart, was on the Wii U. So nobody tell me the Wii U was trash. If they say the Wii U was trash, they never owned a Wii U. All right. The hardware was just a bummer. The name allegedly confused people. That was facts. And I know for a fact at least one person in my circle of friends bought the Wii U thinking the gamepad was portable. Yeah. I mean, I understood it because I watched E3 and I follow all this stuff. So I knew it wasn't portable. But it was tough. Like, you'd walk away like... if you were like an inch out of its range, that screen is going blank. So that was tough. All right, Nintendo took the logical leap and made the Switch what the Wii U should have been in the first place. All right. When Nintendo first revealed the Switch, honestly, I had my doubts. And like I said at the beginning, a lot of people were doubting the Switch. They were saying Nintendo should just go third party, give up. And I was like, nah, Nintendo, y'all good, bro. Just once the leaks started to come out that it was a hybrid, I was telling y'all, watch those old NX videos. I was saying it's a wrap. Nintendo's going to kill it this generation. They don't have to worry about not just sales, like gamers buying a game on the 3DS, a game on the Wii U, but their development resources. They don't have to split their developers making a handheld game or making a home console game, even though they made Smash on the 3DS and the Wii U, and we all bought it on both systems. But they don't have to do that, and I told y'all they were going to kill it, crush it, and they did. All right, so this is what he says. I had my doubts. No, I didn't doubt I'd love it and order one for launch day delivery, because I did that too. It was much more of a case where I wasn't sure if people would be interested in a touchscreen console that, oh, by the way, also works on a TV. Well, I was way off, and now the Nintendo Switch is the third best-selling console of all time. That's a good... I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Do you think the Switch will end up being the best-selling console of all time? Do you think the Switch will be... Bro, I got my cap locks on, so it's all backwards with caps. Do you, hold on, think the Switch will be the best selling console of all time? All right. There's a poll question, yes and no. Ask. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 50-50 with me. Because who knows when if this next console is still in the Switch family and those sales count towards the Switch, it's 100% going to be the best-selling console of all time. If it's like a different name and it's not counted with the current Switch, who knows how fast the Switch will drop off in sales. So it's still up in the air. I think it might do it, though. I think you got Mario Wonder coming out. If Nintendo continues... Now, if Nintendo continues to put their first-party games on the Switch for the next 2 years, like I think they're going to do, it's easily going to be the best-selling console of all time. So, 71% of y'all said yes. How many more does it have to sell to be number one? I think about 25 million, 30 million, something like that, which it's been doing about 15 million a year. So I think it might eventually pass it. I think it will. You think that Peach game will be a launch title for the next Switch? It could be, but I don't think it'll be a system seller. Mario Wonder would have been a system seller. I don't know why Switch 2 isn't launching with a new Mario game. Common with the $10 super chat. Let me say what is Common saying. Been watching since 2016. Love the content. What is your most anticipated feature that could add to this next gen iteration of the Switch? I want to say, of course, the power is obvious. So we're not, power doesn't count. I'm talking about features. 3 features I think the Switch should have, man. Voice chat. That's just basic. Like, you should be able to not have to pull up a smartphone, open, there goes the $10 super chat. Somebody type Common in the chat to show Common some love for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it, Common. But you should be able to voice chat directly on your console. I mean, we were doing that since the OG Xbox, the very first Xbox before the Xbox 360. 3 things: voice chat, messaging, being able to directly message and invite your friends to a game. That should be, and when I say voice chat, party chat too. Messaging, group chatting, that's 2, and achievements. Common, you made me do what I said I wasn't gonna do ever again. The dead horse. We're beating this dead horse. Achievements. We're beating that dead horse, and we want achievements on the next gen Switch. I want to have platinum trophies. Something, call them stars. Nintendo stars, or your Nintendo power. I said this before. They need to develop an achievement system and call it your Nintendo power. What is your power level? Oh my goodness. That would be Nintendo, do it. I know y'all watching this video. Call it Nintendo power. Your power level. Oh my goodness. All right. It was said that you could do that on Fortnite when it came to the Switch, but can voice? You can, Chris. Now here's the thing. There are some Switch games that you could voice chat on, but it's on the developer level. The developer has to put it in the game. I'm talking about on the system level. You could be on the home screen and you could voice chat with somebody. Yo, what's up, bro? Let's run some 2K. Something like that. Like, on the developer level. Voice chat. Beat that dead horse. All right. So, I was about how well it took it. The Nintendo experience announced and marketed it to maximize its time. So when it comes to the next Nintendo console, my first expectation is surprise. Now, I have to agree and I have to disagree. I do appreciate Nintendo surprising us. Every generation, they've done something to surprise us, especially with their controller. Every generation. Matter of fact, the Pro Controller is the most conservative Nintendo's ever been with a controller. It's close to a Xbox 360 controller, which you can't say Nintendo's copying Xbox, because everybody copied Nintendo with shoulder buttons, D-pad. Everything that we see in this controller originated from Nintendo. But this has been their safest controller, but this hasn't been the main thing. Their main thing are the Joy-Cons. These Joy-Cons with HD Rumble was their surprise for this generation. So, this next generation, I do want Nintendo to surprise us with something cool for the controller. The rumor is that patent with the scrollable shoulder pads, shoulder buttons. We have to see if that comes to fruition. But I want them to surprise, but don't do anything too crazy, Nintendo. Shoot yourself in the foot. Where a game is like, come on, bro, I ain't buying this. So, I'm down for a surprise. He continues, when the DS was announced, was anyone anywhere saying to themselves, you know, I would really like it if my handheld console had a second screen, one I could touch. You're right. Nintendo does, and this is what I like about them. They do what no one is thinking about. I believe, because nobody guessed HD Rumble. When they were coming out with the Nintendo 64, no one guessed that pressure-sensitive joystick where Mario could tiptoe. Every generation, they surprise. And that is Nintendo's moniker, what they live by. Surprise and delight. So, almost guaranteed there's going to be some kind of surprise with the Switch 2. No one's going to guess. It's just going to be completely in left field. Like, whoa, we didn't see that coming. He talks about the DS. No one thought about a second screen. Nintendo did it. And the touch with the little stick, or whatever it's called. No one thought, Nintendo did it, and they incorporated it into games pretty well. All right. Same with the 3DS. And he continues, and although the 3D was pretty gimmicky, it was a good gimmick. I have to say, they surprised again with the 3DS, and to each their own. The Nintendo first-party games, for the most part, actually made real good use of the 3DS. Super Mario 3D Land. It was actually implemented in the level design where you needed the 3D on to solve some of the puzzles and to actually help with your landing, how the blocks were designed. So that was a game changer, sort of. 3D without glasses, that was dope. That was dope. And they did improve on it with models that made the 3D more scalable, where you didn't have the double vision. So they did improve on that. All right. Show me someone who doesn't like the 3DS, and I'll show you someone who doesn't have a soul. Hey, 3DS was fire, bro. I agree with him. Who's the author of this article? I need to shout him out. Let me do it real quick. It doesn't say it at the top. Maybe it'll say it at the end. All right. He says you don't have a soul if you didn't like the 3DS. All right. The Wii was also a massive surprise, bro. I think out of any generation, the Wii was Nintendo taking their biggest risk. Raul with the $20 super chat. First, everybody type, show Raul some love. Type Raul in the chat. Appreciate the $20, Raul. He says, I can't wait to see how much Nintendo improves the HD Rumble in the controllers. Imagine how more realistic the games will feel in our hands. Raul, facts. And to give Sony some credit and not some credit, because all PlayStation did was copy Nintendo. The DualSense. They copied that HD Rumble and made it a little bit more specific. Like, I say this all the time. When I first turned on my PS5 and played Astro's Playroom, the Astrobot game that came with it, when he ran across the title and you felt the little footsteps across your hands, I was like, whoa. So, improved HD Rumble would be fire. Hey, Raul, I'm gonna type your name in the chat too. Appreciate the $20, bro. Raul, appreciate it, bro. So, when they did that, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So, I'm hoping they do improve the controller, put a speaker in there, like do some cool things for the HD Rumble. I'm here for it. All right. The Wii was a massive surprise. It was crazy. After the dust settled from the proto memes making fun of the name, I did make fun of the name too. Suddenly, everyone wanted to swing their arms around or hurl Wiimotes into the screen of their $2,000 plasma screen TVs. I remember bringing my Wii like down to Miami Christmas time, like my extended family playing it for the first time. Everybody was blown away. Everybody wanted to play tennis. It was like so cool, so creative. You can see how the Wii caught on super quick. Where's my pack-in normal controller? A lot of hardcore gamers asked, but Nintendo replied, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. My ears are filled with money right now. It's all right. The Wii generation, Nintendo's like deuces hardcore fans. Nintendo catered more than ever to grandmas, aunties, and uncles. The Wii generation. I mean, everything was casual. They did try, y'all remember they had a Wii Pro controller. It didn't have the handheld grips. It was sort of like this without the handheld grips, but it was trash. And it was an afterthought. Nintendo was just like, we're raking in. We're raking in this Wii cash. And they really, really, really catered to the casual market, the Wii generation. It was a good temporary gain, but it hurted them in the long run, especially when the Wii U came out. If you notice the Switch, they did both. They marketed it to the hardcore first, and then now, a whole bunch of kids in the commercials. Casual games. Everybody wants to Switch. But we also do have Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild was the launch title. So they did both. They did a better job of not abandoning the hardcore gamers. So, the Wii U, that was so funny. He says, I'm sorry, our ears are filled with money. The Wii U surprised us as well. Look, I still love my Wii U, even though it failed to catch on as a system. And also, mine is bricked. I never had a problem with my Wii U bricked. I did have to get a second gamepad because my kids broke my first gamepad. And so I think I reached out to Nintendo. I forgot how I got it, and they sent me a second gamepad. All right. So obviously, I don't know what the surprise will be with the Switch 2.0, but it seems like a given we'll get something none of us saw coming. I do believe, I agree with them. The Switch 2, we will be surprised some fashion. All right, this is what he says. Here's what I don't care about at all. 4K gaming on the next Nintendo console. Whoa, he doesn't want a 4K Switch. And I have to say this. If it's going to really bump up the price, because a 4K handheld is going to be expensive. The Steam Deck doesn't even do 4K, if I'm not mistaken. So if the rumors are it's going to be around the specs of a Steam Deck, I agree with them. 1440p would be dope. I'd take 1440p. But if the games are just standard 1080p, 60 frames per second, I'll be cool with it. I actually would. All right. So this is what he says. I also want backwards compatibility. Shintaro Furukawa, he's come out and he has said, we are going to have the Nintendo accounts carry on over to the next gen console. So at the minimum, we know in some way our purchases, our gaming history is going to carry over. So everything is pointing to backwards compatibility on the current Switch. I really think Nintendo would be crazy and consumers would rage if our Switch library doesn't transfer over. PlayStation did it. Xbox did it. They have to have backwards compatibility on the next gen Switch. Shout out to everybody coming into the stream. We're at 53 likes. Can we get 60 likes in the stream? 7 more people give the stream a thumbs up. I think it goes without saying at this point, and it's probably the biggest request people have for the next console facts. Backwards compatibility is just a no-brainer at this point. Backwards compatibility is something most Nintendo consoles have, particularly the handheld ones. That's right. Like when the 3DS came out, it still had a cartridge slot for the DS. So Nintendo, this isn't something foreign to Nintendo. They've done this before. But I think it's going to be more on the digital front. I don't know if he's going to talk about this, but I've said this before. Digital and all digital Switch 2 as an option. I think Nintendo needs to have 2 options. An all digital model and one that still takes cartridges. We're not ready yet for all digital. I am. When the all digital Switch comes out, I'm buying it. I get all my games digitally. My kids lose cartridges, and I could game share with my kids for free. I have my Switch, and we have a main Switch where the kids get, I only have to buy a game once, and they can also play on one of their Switches. You can only game share. That's the only bummer. You can only game share on one Switch. Nintendo needs to expand that. If you're like connected on the same Wi-Fi, somehow Nintendo needs to allow you to game share. All right. So, in fact, every Nintendo console has played nice with the games of its predecessor. I didn't realize that. Every single Nintendo handheld, every single Nintendo handheld has been backwards compatible. Game Boy Advance played Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Nintendo DS played Game Boy Advance games. 3DS played DS games. He's right. And I have all my Nintendo handhelds right there. All I have to do is look at the bottom. I just never thought about that. Every Nintendo handheld has been backwards compatible. So it's almost 100% guaranteed the Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible with the Switch now. Nintendo's always done it. Why would they stop doing it now? All right, so that makes sense. The Switch isn't backwards compatible with the Wii U or Wii, mostly because of the media. But also Nintendo figured very correctly they could re-release most of the best Wii U games and make a fortune. That's facts. Because no one bought the Wii U. And so what did Nintendo do? They re-released all the Wii U games and everybody bought them all. Even me. I double dipped. Well, I had to get Mario Kart Deluxe. I had to get Smash Ultimate. I mean, it was a no-brainer. All right. More than anything else, I want to be able to keep playing my favorite Switch games on whatever Nintendo's next console turns out to be. Nintendo needs to do that for free. You have your gaming library. You should be able to transfer it over and be good. Because Nintendo, unlike PlayStation and Xbox, they make a profit on their consoles and their software. So they're going to have new software. So they don't have to worry about trying to be too greedy, causing us to buy these games all over again. Just let us transfer it over. Everybody and their mom is going to buy Mario Wonder, whatever the next Zelda. We're going to buy the next Animal Crossing, but allow us to transfer over our current games. All right. Here's what I don't care about at all, he continues. 4K on the next Nintendo console. Seriously, it's a waste of time on the consoles that are supposed to be 4K right now. That is facts. And one of my biggest frustrations with both PlayStation and Xbox this generation, they were hyping up 4K, 60 frames per second. 4K, 60 frames per second. Hardly any games run at true 4K and 60 frames. If it's 4K, it's 30 frames per second. To get 60 frames, it has to be like a 2K or whatever 1440p is. Not even these next-gen systems run 4K, 60 frames per second. So, he's spot on. I end up playing at 60 frames per second in performance mode on every game that allows it on my PS5 and Xbox. And I don't care. And he says he doesn't care. And really, I don't care, but I do because y'all were marketing 4K 60 frames. If y'all were hyping up 4K 60 frames, I want it to be on the PS5 and Xbox 4K 60. On my Nintendo system, I don't care because Nintendo's never been like, that's what we're prioritizing. They always prioritize gameplay. But if y'all gonna boast about it, it needs to happen. Hey, I'm getting this Zelda amiibo when it drops. Ooh, fire. All right. And I don't care in the slightest if the next Nintendo console doesn't do native 4K. If it manages 60 frames per second, that's great. If it's 60 frames per second at 1440p, even better. I'm telling you, if Nintendo manages to do 60 frames, 1440p, that's pretty much a PS4 Pro. That'll be fire. That would be fire. But now, because the graphical fidelity on these new games, they wouldn't be able to handle it. But if they, my priority is frame rate. Frame rate has to be 60 frames per second on these third-party games. The first-party games, I know it's going to be 60, but these third-party games, 60 frames per second. Nintendo's hardware history tells us we probably won't be getting a 4K console. That's fact, because a 4K handheld is going to be super expensive. Pushing all those polygons takes a lot of hardware power, and Nintendo has generally used older, more readily available tech for its consoles. The Game Boy, for example, came out in 1989 using a chip based on the Zilog Z80. I didn't know this, which was first released in 1976. That's crazy. Some of those Game Boy games look good though. They had Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy, bro. Don't sleep on the Game Boy. Additionally, keeping down, they had Donkey Kong Country. I think they called it Donkey Kong Country Land. But like the 3D, the rendered Donkey Kong game, they made that on the, bro, that has to come on Nintendo's online services soon. I don't think that's on there yet. Additionally, keeping down the power needs also keeps down the cost. That's right. Nintendo is very price conscious. We're coming to the end. For the love of, let me see. Speaking of costs, I want the next Nintendo console to hit the $399 price point. Now, this is, what do we think this next Switch is going to cost? I even think $399 for Nintendo is too expensive. I really think Nintendo saw the success of the Switch, and they're going to figure out how to get this more powerful Switch at $350, the same price as a Switch OLED. And they're going to drop the price of the Switch OLED. They're going to just drop the prices of the current Switch. And $350, $349, I think they found out to be a sweet spot. But he's saying $399. They could do $399 for the physical version with that host cartridges and $349 for an all-digital version. That's possible. I honestly think between the Switch's continuing success and the remediation of silicon processing and supply chain issues, Nintendo is waiting until it can hit that price before it releases its next console. Y'all remember all of the leaks pointing to a 2023 more powerful Switch? I really think it was supposed to happen, but because of demand and availability and cost, Nintendo is like, it's too expensive right now. We'll wait a year for production costs to go down, release it in 2024. We'll see. All right. Nintendo's the Steam Deck and more recently the Asus ROG Ally have shown you really can squeeze a lot of power from a handheld design, and the entry-level Steam Deck is just under $400 on sale right now. I didn't even realize that the Switch is that the Steam Deck is under $400 right now. All right, he says, finally, please, for the love of all that, please, for the love of all that is good, fix Nintendo Online so we can just use it without needing to jump through a bunch of hoops. What does it mean? It's insane to me that I can't just meet up with my friends online, what I've been saying, and chat with them without a mess of confusion. I said this. Having to open your phone, open an app, do all this just to voice chat. I use Discord, but you got to use something separate to voice chat. Everyone else has been doing it for years now. Please, Nintendo, please make it easy to chat and play online with your next console. Big facts. Oh, this is what he says. This must have been Obi-Wan who wrote this article, because this dude is saying the same thing I'm saying. This is what he says. I also want Metroid Prime 4 to be a launch title. Oh my goodness. If Metroid Prime 4 is a launch title for the Switch 4K, day one, it's going to be a day one buy no matter what launches with it. If it launches with Barbie dress up your favorite world, I'm going to buy it at launch. But Metroid Prime 4 at launch, oh my goodness. Metroid Prime 4 is going to be on the current Switch. They have to, or else Nintendo's going to get sued, because that's what they advertise it on. But I think it's going to be 30 frames per second at a lower resolution on the current Switch. I think this Metroid Prime 4 is going to look real good on this next gen Switch. So, and he said those are his basic hopes and dreams. So that's what he pretty much say. Seth Macy. I know, I've heard that name, Seth Macy. So that was a pretty good article, Seth Macy. What he wants from the Switch, Switch 2, most anticipated console. Y'all already know. So this is where I'm gonna end it tonight. What do you guys think about the Switch 2, everything that IGN discussed in this article? What are your thoughts? What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? Shout out to everybody with the super chats tonight. Raul with the $20. Common with the $10. Michael with the $5. Raul with the $10. Appreciate it. Sound off in the comment section below. I want to know. But before you go, before you go, bro, click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. Next gen Switch, the next 2D Mario game is going to look like the Mario movie characters. Even though Mario Wonder looks amazing, so I'm good with that. All right, we out. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
This channel that I'm about to throw out there for you guys reminds me of me back when I had like 4,000, 5,000 subscribers, man. And he's probably gonna lose shit when I do this, but hey, man, I gotta say, my boy Obi-Wan, man, that nigga is my nigga right there. He reminds me exactly of me when I was doing this smaller level. His channel, when I look at it, it's such a nostalgia trip, and he has a really cool audience too. Man, if you could show this nigga some love too, that'd be awesome. I don't shout people out unless I like them a lot. I'm picky with that. Anyways, my boy Obi-Wan, your boy Obi-Wan. Hey man, I got you right here, my boy. Get that man a little bit of a look, man. He reminds me of me when I was smaller. You want to take a look in the past, my boy? This is the way you do it.
I got you,
Jedi Master.
the Jedi Master. I got you, man. You're playing Toontown.
Thank you.
I got
Obi-Wan,
you,
man.
homie.
I'm dedicating a workout set to you, my boy. Let's go, guys.